In this video, I will share with you a very simple method to diagnose what might not be working in your business and to figure out what is preventing it from being more profitable. This is the exact same thing that I have used for years for all my businesses, whether it's e-commerce, affiliate marketing, consulting, or other smaller projects that I've had, and also how I've helped other people's businesses when they've wanted my help. So this works for every single business out there and for any single process or area within your business. This is more commonly used when analyzing funnels, but once you understand it, you can extrapolate it to almost anything. In fact, at the end of the video, I'll teach you how you can apply it to things that have literally nothing to do with business, like dating and how to get in shape and all that kind of stuff. Now, I will say this. I think what I'm about to explain is fairly basic, but when people buy my consultation calls on my website, I often find myself explaining this over and over and over again to new people. So it seems like there's more people than I originally thought that don't know about this. So I just thought like, hey, I might as well just do a video about it. So let's do a very generic scenario so that I can explain this thing. Let's say that you're selling a product through Facebook ads, and that is the core of your business. What we need to lay out are all the steps that someone has to go through from the first interaction ever with your business. So in this case, it's probably the first time that they see your ad, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram, all the way to the point where they make a purchase. Although this could go beyond the purchase, because maybe after the purchase you have upsells, or maybe you add them to an email list and you try to sell them more stuff there. Maybe through email, you sell them on a higher ticket thing. So you have like a whole other funnel that you move them to after they make that initial purchase. Funnels can get very complex. Every funnel is very unique, but for simplicity purposes, just so that I can explain this concept right here, let's just have like one single upsell after they have made the purchase, and that's it. So what we have to do here is draw the entire blueprint of our entire funnel and all the elements in between. And we're going to divide these elements into three categories. So number one are going to be the touch points, two will be the direct actions, and three, let's call them engagement elements, for lack of a better word. You will see what I mean in a minute. So as for the touch points, these are the sites, the pages, the locations where things are happening. So you have the ad itself, as we said, maybe it's on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. After the ad, maybe you take them directly to the product page. After that, maybe they go to the add to cart. Then we have the checkout page. And after the checkout, maybe you'll send them directly to the upsell. So these are the sites. These are the locations where things are happening. Now, number two are the direct actions. These, for example, on the ad, you have the click right here, because I assume that's going to be the main goal that you have with your ad, to generate a click so they go to the product page. And same from the product page to the add to cart page. Maybe you also have like cross sales here. Like for example, on Amazon, when they tell you like, oh, other people usually buy all of these items together. So do you want to get them all? So I would throw these into this category as well. And then lastly, we have what I kind of call like the engagement elements. So this is, for example, the video itself that you're running on the ad, or even the comments, the likes. If you have a video on your product page, same thing. Or maybe you actually have like a pre-sale page in the middle, which is very, very common before your product page. So same thing. What this basically means are just the things that people engage with before they take that direct action that actually moves the needle. Now, you could have so many more subcategories here. If you want to refine it even more, it depends on what your funnel is, what is it exactly that you're doing, etc. Like there's so many variables, but I assume that you get the point. And now that you have this entire map right here, if you've added all the elements, now you need to add data to it. You need to know your numbers, because what we cannot track, we cannot fix. So for example, figuring out on this click right here from the ad to the product page, what is the CTR? What is the CPC? On the ad itself, right here, what is the CPM? In regards to the video that you have on the ad, what is the average view duration and the average view percentage? And same thing with the video that maybe you have on the product page or that pre-sale page that we mentioned before. Like, what are the metrics? What is the data of that video? The frequently bought together that we mentioned before, like the one that they have on Amazon. What is the percentage of people that actually use it and add those items to their cart? Then the conversion rate of the first purchase. What is the number? And same with the upsell. What is the percentage of people that take the upsell? And then finally, what is the average order value? Like every single thing that you can measure within this blueprint, you have to measure it. There's so many things. Obviously, I didn't mention them all, but every single thing that you can track, you should track. Because again, what we cannot track, we cannot fix. Just know that obviously some things are more relevant than others. So for example, in the ad itself, I have always considered to be way more important what is the average view duration, the average view percentage, than how many likes or comments your ad gets. Because a higher view percentage usually significantly increases the chances that someone might click on your ad, but someone leaving a comment, like, not so much. It helps you in some other ways, but it's not as important as someone watching your entire ad. So obviously there's like a hierarchy within these things. Now, if you're using Facebook, for example, you're running Facebook ads, they already give you a lot of data on the ad side of things, and also extra data is attributing specific sales to some specific ad that you might be running. They can connect that data, like this purchase comes from this specific ad and campaign. Although Facebook makes a lot of tracking mistakes, which can mislead you a lot, because sometimes they can give you very incorrect tracking data, which sometimes can make it really, really difficult to scale properly. So something better that you could do instead of just relying on Facebook's tracking is to use a dedicated tracking software. So for example, like Hyros, it works way better and is way more accurate. I will leave a link in the description if you want access to it. And for the other elements like conversion rate and things as such, for example, if you're using Shopify, they're already going to give you like most of this data, or honestly, almost every single software out there nowadays will give you some sort of data tracking tool. For example, if for some reason the software that you're using to host your video on your pre-sale page is not giving you the data on the average view duration or average view percentage, just change to a different software that does. This is a very, very simple problem to solve. Now, once you have all of these, there are two things that you need to do. First is to figure out what are the industry standards of all these metrics that you're tracking right here. So you have a general reference of what is good and what is bad, what is acceptable, what is not acceptable. So for example, what is an acceptable CTR for your niche or an acceptable conversion rate? And the way you figure these out, honestly, is just research and talking to people within the same niche and comparing their numbers. Like that's eventually how you figure it out. And then the second thing that you need to do is to figure out what you would need. What would be the minimum numbers you would need to make your specific business viable? Because regardless of other people's standards, you're going to have a unique price and unique expenses, whether it's for your ads or whatever it is that you're doing. So you need to understand and know which are the metrics that you have to hit to make your thing work. Usually, I think it's a good idea to first run by the industry standards, because maybe you do that and you can already see that that would make your business work. So like, for example, you conclude that on your ad in your niche, like an acceptable CTR is like 2%. And then same thing with conversion rate, like that's an average that people have, 2%. And you check all the other things like yada, 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 what it should be. And you run the numbers with your prices, your expenses, and all of that stuff. And you conclude if that would work or not. And if it doesn't, then you have to figure out what I said in point number 2. Like, what is it that you would need? What are the numbers? Maybe it's like a 2.5% CTR on the ad or a higher conversion rate. Although sometimes what you might realize is that you just have to increase the price of your product. Like usually that fixes a lot of problems, or maybe just add more upsells, make more money on the back end. But now that you have this full picture, this full blueprint with all of the data, now you can do a diagnosis to figure out what is working and what is not working, because you know what numbers you should be hitting on each one of these specific elements. And now you will be clearly able to see that maybe the problem in your funnel is that, yeah, you're getting a lot of people through your ads, but when they get to the checkout page, maybe they're not buying, or maybe they don't even get to the checkout page. Maybe you've determined that on average 10% of the people who land on your website should go to the checkout page, but that's not happening. Maybe you're like at 3%, or vice versa. Maybe you're getting a lot of people on the checkout page and they convert, you're making money, but you're just not getting enough people through your ads. So this is what you need to work on. And if you understand all of these things and you see where the flaws are, now starts what I personally believe is the most fun part of business, which is improving every single aspect of it. Like, how do you make more engaging and captivating, interesting, relevant ads so that people click on them? How do I make better websites that generate more conversions? How do I make more relevant upsells so people buy them more often and I can make more money? And it's all about going up and down this whole structure to fine-tune your entire system, trying new things, experimenting, iterating until things start to perform better. And here's the thing, like, you can always just hire a consultant so that you're just not blindly trying random stuff. That's kind of what I offer. If you want me to help you with your business, you can just go to my website and you will see how we can do it. So link below in the description. Now, here's the funny thing though, which is what I mentioned at the beginning, and this is why I think that being experienced in business is so useful for so many other things in life. You can apply this concept that we just talked about to literally anything in life. So for example, with dating, you list out all of these steps from the beginning to the end. I don't know what your goal might be. Maybe it's casual sex, maybe it's a serious relationship. I don't care, but between first contact and the end goal, you list out all of these steps. So for example, the touch points. Where do you first meet? Where do you go for the first date? Second date. The direct actions. Do they give you their phone number? Do they agree on a date? Do they go to your place or you go to theirs? Do you have sex? Do you start a relationship, right? Like, is it converting? Are you having conversion? And lastly, the engagement elements that I was calling them before. Do you have a good average view duration, a good average view percentage? So in your conversations, do they keep listening to you and they're interested, or they zone out? Same with likes and comments. Do they laugh? Do they open up? Are they receptive, or they respond negatively and they're not interested? And it's the exact same thing with fitness and getting in shape and almost every single thing that you can think of in life. And that's why I use this photo of an engine right here, because everything, or so many things in life, they're just a process with so many parts, and they all work together to generate one outcome. And it's all about tweaking all of these parts until you start getting some decent performance, and then you can get to that end goal that you're seeking. Of course, there's something to be said in life about just going with the flow and going on intuition, but I think it's useful to have this approach so that you can correct mistakes that might be holding you back and preventing you from getting results. And with these, you can start to get some more positive traction. And then once you become more of a master and it becomes more innate, then I think it's okay if you go more by feeling, intuition, and just gut feeling. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope it was helpful. Check out my private community, because there I go more in depth into some of these concepts right here. And also inside the community, you can meet other like-minded people who have the same goals as you. Or if you want, you can just directly buy one of my one-on-one private consultation calls if you want me to help you with your business. So check the link in the description or the pinned comment below if you're interested in that. And that's it. I'll see you very soon. Take care. Have a great life. Peace.